sudden, the highest immigration season has already started. Usually it's October, September, August, September, October. That's the highest season. So for us, for the relocation immigration agencies, this is the best time of the year. Because basically everyone is moving here now. All the students are moving here. Families with kids starting schools are moving here. They actually moved a bit earlier, but still some of them are coming. Then all the English teachers are moving here now because of starting the schools. So it's also one of the best times of the year for our real estate section, where we help people finding accommodation in Prague. And because we also get this one particular question a lot, basically from everyone using our help to find a place to live in Prague, is like, where do I want to live as an expat? What are the good neighborhoods and all that? So like everything related to that. So I decided to do a live stream about that. So that's the topic of the video today, the best neighborhoods to live in Prague. I will go through all the neighborhoods from number 1, like Prague 1, to number 10, Prague 10. And I will always talk about the different locations within that particular part of Prague. And also I will tell you a bit more, partially general facts, partially my opinion about that neighborhood, so you get an idea what might be the best fit for you. So first thing you need to understand about Prague is that Prague doesn't go in circles. So Prague 1 isn't like in the middle, and Prague 2 is a bit bigger circle, and Prague 3 is a bit bigger circle. That's not like that. So if you look at this map, I don't know how like visible it is on the video, but if you Google it and you look here, Prague 1 basically neighbors Prague 5, 6, and 7. Prague 2 neighbors Prague 10, 4, 5. So like even Prague 1 is actually very close to Prague 1, and Prague 10 is very close to Prague 1. So you don't really need to travel that much. Plus the public transportation in Prague is amazing, so you can get everywhere pretty swiftly. And also if you want to walk, Prague is a very walkable city. On one hand, it's very hilly, so especially let's say Prague 3, that's very hilly. So if you live there, you will always need to go to a hill, uphill. If you live in some other parts of Prague, it might not be that much, but Prague is very walkable. So basically, if you don't mind walking every day, or just like when you want to go somewhere, Prague is a great city for that. What else I wanted to say? Just generally about Prague. Yeah, so I will now be talking primarily from the perspective of English-speaking expats or people who come here to experience Prague. Because then there are people who come here to work, and that's their main focus. They don't come here to live in Prague, they come here to work for that specific company on that specific position. So those usually look for accommodation close to their place of work. They don't really care where it is, as long as it's not more than 20 minutes to work, because they don't want to travel every day to work more than 20 minutes. So that's a bit different, because then you are not really looking for the best place to live in Prague, but you're looking for a place which is close to your office or the factory where you work or whatever you do. So I will touch that topic slightly, but I will not go deeper into that. But let's now jump right into it. So Prague 1, first topic, first part of Prague. Honestly, like if you're moving to Prague to experience the medieval Prague, which you see like in all the videos and all the photos, okay, that's probably the place to live. There are also some spots in Prague 1 where it's pretty quiet, like hidden streets where you can like find a calm neighborhood and everything. But generally you need to count with very much noise, basically the whole day round, like including nights, because Prague 1 is primarily focused on tourists. So there are plenty of clubs, music clubs, there are plenty of restaurants, plenty of bars. People go there for stag parties, all the I don't know how it's called, like pub crawls, basically, that you go from pub to pub to pub to pub to pub in one night. So that all is happening there. So the whole day and night long, you will be seeing and hearing like British people in their like dinosaur hats celebrating like doing the stag parties. So that's how it is in Prague. Also plenty of the apartments there are used for Airbnbs. So there are not that many apartments to choose from. And also the apartments are very specific. You cannot find like all types of apartments in Prague 1 because there are also strict rules on what can be built there. And even if you're reconstructing buildings, then they need to meet some standards for like from the perspective of keeping the city in the state as it was like 600 years ago. So if you're changing windows, for example, in your apartment, then they need to be wooden, they need to be in the same color as all the other windows or as the previous windows. And there are many rules like that. So Prague 1, I would probably not really recommend it for long-term living unless you really like this like vibe of the middle of the city and you don't mind not sleeping a couple nights in a row. So Prague number 1. Prague number 2. Yeah, Prague number 2, basically the whole part is called Vinohrady, and that's obviously the first choice among English-speaking expats because that's where all the English-speaking expats live. So yeah, if you don't really want to like learn Czech or like bother like learning and speaking Czech, that's the place to live because everyone, all the restaurants, all the shops, basically everyone speaks English there. So you can really like survive and live pretty well actually just with English. You don't really need to speak any word of Czech. There's also plenty of restaurants, bars, cafes, some of them very posh. Some of the places are where you go if you want to show off that you have enough money, or where you want to go if you don't have money but you want to look like you do. You do have money. So plenty of these places are in Prague too as well. But also plenty of happenings, plenty of different festivals, street food festivals, and like markets, farmers markets on the different squares in Prague too. Then also different wine festivals, all that. So if you're looking for this, like if you're looking to be among English-speaking expats, if you're looking to have access to food and drinks, basically non-stop, 24/7, that's the place to live. And also, besides Prague 1, if you imagine like living in Prague, that's the place. That's what you imagine. That's like the 120 years old buildings, that like the Vinohrady buildings. Every building has a different color. That's the prettiest place to live. Also the connection is very good. There are plenty of tram lines. There is the green line going through the whole Vinohrady. So basically, wherever you live, you will be able to easily get to the metro station or trams. So it's very simple to go around the city if you start in Vinohrady. Now, Prague 3. Prague 3 used to be kind of like a ghetto, kind of a rough place. I used to say this one thing because I still remember it, and actually I saw that client on Facebook a couple of days ago, so I commented that to him as well. We had a guy from the US, he played he didn't play he played brass, like the electronic guitar or whatever. He used to smoke weed, and he was already 65 probably when we moved to Prague, which is some time ago. And he was super cool, and he lived in Žižkov. And he described Žižkov as, Žižkov is not a ghetto. It's like if you haven't shaved for 3 days. So it's something like this, that it's a bit rough. Nothing dangerous. It was just not clean. There was plenty of graffiti. It was more like locals there and kind of weird pubs. Like if you imagine a Czech style pub where like the old guys go and drink their beers and stuff, that would be in there. Since then, like 10 years ago, that has changed a lot, and there are also like most of the buildings are being reconstructed, and like new buildings are built there, new restaurants are opening. So it's not that much as it used to be, but it's still a bit, maybe for like a younger generation or a bit more, I don't want to say adventurous. It's not like dangerous there. It's still a bit like wild, but nothing will happen to you, like nothing significant. No one will like kill you or anything like that. It's just, it has a special feel. The connection though there, like public transportation, is not really that great. It depends on the part, but it's also very hilly. So you need to be, if you live in Žižkov, you need to be ready to, like, if you want to walk, you will always be walking uphill somewhere. Connection there is, depends on where, because Prague 3 borders with Prague 2. So Vinohrady in some parts is Prague 2, in some parts is Prague 3. So it depends on where you exactly live. And if you live close to Vinohrady, then you have access to the metro, as I mentioned before. But if you live in some other parts of Žižkov, there is basically just trams or buses. So you would first need to catch a bus to get to a metro station or to get to some better connected tram. But other than that, the connection is there, just not a metro in all the parts of Žižkov. Prague 4. Prague 4 is huge. Okay, Prague 4 is the biggest part of Prague, so I cannot describe it as one part. So I will focus on, let's see, probably 2, 3 maybe. 2, 3 parts. I would say that Prague 4 generally is still one of the most underrated, or still kind of a place where you can find hidden gems in terms of apartments, because it's not that well known. Also, since it's big, if you say Prague 4, it's not really like that you know where people live. If they say I live in Prague 4, it can be like a difference of 10 kilometers. So yeah, but Prague 4, let's say the part closer, like let's say southeast part of it, that's usually where people who come to the Czech Republic to work in one of the big companies like Microsoft or others, where they want to live, because that's where these offices are based. There are some big business parks along the Red Line. So often people who come to work to these companies want to live close by. And if you want to live in Chodov, for example, which is like where the big shopping mall is, closest to the, or almost at the end of the Red Line, that's not where you want to live if you come to live in Prague. That's like the how to call it, like all the, like, let's say communist panel flats, all the concrete buildings are there. It's very close to nature. So if you love nature, there is a huge forest where you can go and walk for like 15 kilometers and like be still in the forest, and it's still in Prague. So it's like a huge, not even park, it's a real forest. So if you like that, if you like running, if you want to be close to the office, that's a great place to live. And there are some newly built projects as well. So you can find new apartments there as well, but majority of the apartments are the old, like, concrete buildings built in the 70s or 80s, where you don't really, I would not live there personally if I didn't have to, because you hear everything from the neighbors. It's kind of like weird, everyone has the same apartment, it's kind of old. Even if it's reconstructed, it looks kind of weird, in my opinion. So I would probably not want to live there, but people live there. So if you prefer not like exactly the building where you live, but the neighborhood, like close to the office, close to the forest, close to the shopping mall, good. But if you want to live still in like a nice part of Prague where you see the Prague buildings, like in Vinohrady, that would be specifically 2 parts of Prague 4, which are called Nusle and Michle. And those are along one of the main roads, the tram line. There is no metro really, but actually there is, but it's in the bridge, because there is the bridge where the metro goes inside of the bridge, and then there is the valley, and basically Nusle is the valley under the big bridge with the metro line. So under there are also really nice buildings, like in Vinohrady. There are restaurants, there are shops. It's just a bit hidden like people don't really know that it's there. They don't know why they would go there. So it's a bit hidden, but there are nice apartments. It's a good neighborhood to live in, good connection everywhere, even though it doesn't have a metro. Michle, it's a bit further behind Nusle, but it keeps the same spirit. Plus you get the small river there, the stream, plus some more like parks and even small forests. So it's a good combination if you want to live in something which is Prague from the pictures. You see, not like Prague from the 17th or 80s, but like 1910 or 1890. So that's there. And if you still want to be close to some nature and have a good connection, not that expensive apartments, that would be there. Then I also want to mention, or wanted to mention, Podolí, which is the part of Prague 4 which goes along the river. So that might be good as well, but it depends. I would probably limit it to like a region of 2 streets, because then it gets very hilly. There is like a steep hill. So if you live on the top of the hill, that's kind of not very convenient, because if you want to go to the metro, you would need to go up the hill and towards Pankratz, which is the red line, which would probably take you, if you want to walk or if you take a bus, it would take you some time. If you go down, there is no metro. There is just the tram line which goes along the river, which is a long way. So not that that's best connected if you live like somewhere in the hill. But if you live right next to the river, also nice place. Then Prague 5. Usually when I talk about Prague 5, it's the area called Smíchov, or Smíchov. Smíchov, that's where the Anděl area is, the shopping malls and the cinemas and all the restaurants. So that used to be pretty... that has something weird is happening there, because at some point it was like very popular, then it somehow disappeared from the map, even though generally the area is developing. And honestly, now I haven't heard of Prague 5 for a long time, not of this part, that someone would actually live there. Actually, yes, one client, we accommodated one Polish family there not long ago, like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. So yeah, people still want to live there. It's just, I don't know, it lost the kind of the momentum, I don't know. But this is basically Prague 5, which is closest to the river. There is everything which you need. There is the metro. There is like 10 different tram lines, so you can really go everywhere. It's close to the river, so you have direct access to both Náplavkas with all the markets and everything. Yeah, there is a shopping mall. Used to be 24/7 Tesco there. Not sure if it's still there, but used to be shopping mall, 2 cinema, big like cinema theaters. They have like 20 halls, cinema theaters there. So yeah, plenty of shops, plenty of cafes as well. It would also be just a couple of streets, probably like 2, 3, 4 maybe streets from the river, where you can find good apartments which are well connected and everything. If you go more up, it's kind of like up the hill as well, but just if you follow the tram line up from Anděl, you get to plenty of newly built office buildings. So there are plenty of offices, but not really that much of apartments or that many apartments to live in around there. So that part of Prague 5 would be kind of weird to live in. You need to be kind of lucky as well to find something there, something which meets your requirements. Plus the traffic there, probably not the best, but Anděl might be a good place, or Smíchov might be a good place to live as well. Prague 6, yes, Prague 6 is also pretty big. Some of you maybe know the Ministry of the Interior there in Prague 6. But again, if I talk about Prague 6, I primarily mean Davice and Bubenec. Davice and Bubenec, those are basically Vinohrady of Prague 6. So very nice buildings. The buildings you know from Vinohrady are there as well. Restaurants, cafes, everything, like theaters, everything is there. In general, it's kind of a combination of students and like embassy workers, because plenty of embassies, most of the embassies are either in Prague 1 or in Prague 6, including American embassy and Russian embassy and all the big embassies there. And also schools. There are like 3 big universities in there. So it's a combination of like young people and schools and everything. And also like the kind of nice living you know from Vinohrady. So that might be a good place to live as well. Prague 7. Again, there are 2 parts which might be interesting. So Prague 7, called Holešovice. That used to be very industrial part of the city. Also, there was the first marina, like marina housing built there. And now there are plenty of like new houses, new apartment building complexes which are close to the river. So if you like river, in some of them you can even have your own docks. Like you can park your boat if you want. So there are plenty of nice, really nice and really kind of luxurious apartments built there. So if you have the money and you want to live close to the river, you want to live in this kind of combination of industrial and modern, that's definitely a good place for you to live. Also, it's kind of a hipster-ish location where you can find plenty of like interesting cafes, interesting restaurants, different festivals as well. There is also like the huge park called Stromovka. That's like a huge and very popular park. It's very close to the zoo, and there's also this big exhibition center. There is one big hockey club and has stadium there. So there is a lot to do and a lot to see. So if you also look for a lot of opportunities to go out and engage in different activities, from sport to walking in nature, running to like exhibitions or cafes, everything you can find there. So it's just a combination of industrial, kind of like Vinohrady-like, and very new. So it's a very specific combination, which will not suit everyone, but generally also a really nice place to live. There is one more part, which is called Letna. Most of you probably know it from like the beer gardens there, which is one of the biggest beer gardens in Prague. And that's really, really nice because there is this park right on the edge of it's not a mountain, it's what, rock, whatever, where if you stay on the top of the mountain or the rock, you see the whole Prague, you see river, you see everything. So it's like one of the most beautiful views in Prague. And you can also live around there. So it's also very well connected. Metro, it's kind of meh. You can go either left and get to the green line, or you can go right, get to the red line. Or if you just want to walk a bit, you cross the bridge and you're in Prague 1, where you can catch any metro you want. So definitely well connected. Yeah. Prague 10. And that's the end, because then the rest is like really far. Generally, there are 21 parts of Prague, but the rest is like very far from the center. So it's again, we've had clients who live there, but those are in very specific situation. Either they really wanted to engage into with the local, I don't want to say culture, because there is not much culture in places like Haje or like Kobylisy, but like with the local community, let's say. And maybe if you like work there, or if you work on the red line and you want to live somewhere cheap, okay, those would be like good places to live. But other than that, there is nothing really why you would live there. People live there because there are flats available, and not that expensive as in other parts of Prague. But other than that, there is not really anything special. There might be, because they those parts of Prague try to attract people So there is like a huge ice rink, or then you have like a shooting range in the middle of nowhere, you know, and stuff like that, big exhibition center, because they try to like attract people to those parts of Prague as well. But so if you're interested in that, if you're interested in shooting, okay, so some of these parts might be great because there is the shooting range. Or if you're interested in like ice skating, great, because there is this big ice rink. But if you're not really interested in that, or if you're interested in some restaurants or some other like activities, nothing really there. So the last part of Prague I want to mention is Prague 10, and primarily the part called Vršovice. Strašnice, maybe, that would be like borderline. More Strašnice would be the part, if you want to be close to nature, if you want to live more like in a residential neighborhood, but you still want to be in like a vicinity of the city and have a good connection, because there are trams for sure. And depending on where exactly you live, there is also a metro line, the Green Line. So might be good if you maybe have kids, because there are also these houses with gardens, like small gardens in front of the house, all that, which you can rent some of them. There are nice apartments. So yes, that would be a good place maybe to live with kids or with dogs, because there are also like the dog parks where you can take your dog and train the dog and everything. So there is a lot of greenery. It's more like calm. It's more like residential, a lot of parks, not much going on there. Maybe the local community organizes things, stuff like that. So, and it's still very well connected. It's like just depending, of course, on where you live, but it's like 10 minutes, 15 minutes to Vinohrady, where you have all the shopping malls and like all the restaurants and everything. So might be a good place to look at if you look for a place like this. But then Vršovice, that used to be maybe 8 years ago, that used to be the most hipster part of Prague. Now it still has this kind of feel. It's of course changed a bit and developed, but Prague 10 is still very, very kind of hip, let's say, place with kind of interesting. I say interesting, I mean weird from my perspective, but it's, I guess, generally said it's interesting, like different cafes and different like restaurants of a weird taste, maybe not that usual, specific. It's a mixture of locals, young locals, I would say, and young expats. There are also parks. There is no metro really in Vršovice, so you need to rely on the tram, and it's also kind of weirdly located because like Vršovice is here, Prague 10 is here, Prague 2 is here. So there is no like tram line because it's like very steep hill, and there is no metro line. So there is one bus, I believe, which goes from Vršovice to Vinohrady. So, or you can walk it, but it's like uphill. So you need to have you need to be in pretty good shape. Or you have to take the tram, which takes a bit longer, because usually the tram goes just to Náměstí Míru, and then you need to change and go, if you want to go, for example, to Flora or something, you need to catch a different tram. So the location, like the connection is good, like it's very close, but you don't have that many options. But if you're looking for nice, like Vinohrady like buildings, really nice, the Prague experience, and kind of not mainstream cafes, not mainstream restaurants, not mainstream places, or if you like football as well, soccer, there are two big clubs there from the first league, so you can also enjoy that. If you live in some buildings, you can watch the matches for free as well. So that might be the main advantage there too. Guys, I will check if you have any questions. So that's it. So you understand, that's it. I will see if some of the comments are related to this topic. If yes, I will answer them. If not, I will not, because this is not an open live stream where I answer questions of all types. This is specifically to this topic. And guys, let me know where you live. Once I upload the video, the recording, let me know where you live and why you like it there or why you don't like it there, or if you have any questions. And of course, if you'd like us to help you find apartments, we'll be happy to get in touch and we'll find you something nice in any of these locations I've just talked about. So let's see, 3 months work visa. Yuri Truci lived in Prague, 9, really nice place. Okay, I didn't touch Prague 9 really, because that's the part where is not much happening in my opinion. But if you once I upload the video, let me know what did you like there, what was the part you liked about Prague 9. I'll be happy to see that, and I'm sure others as well. Yuri Truci, if you're blah blah blah. Yes, Armenian, it's possible to accommodation contract. So Yazan Amri, is it possible to sign the accommodation contract instead of my wife, because she's not here in Czech Republic, made her sign Plnamot just between me and her but not verified? Potentially that's possible, or your wife can also always be mentioned as someone who lives in the apartment. So you can be the tenant, the one who is responsible for the lease and who signs the contract, but your wife can also be mentioned somewhere in the contract as a person who will be living there with you. So if you need this lease agreement for your immigration purposes, like her visa or something, you can do it this way. She doesn't have to sign and she doesn't have to be the main tenant. She can be just mentioned in the lease agreement, but you need to make sure that like there is enough identification of her. So like full name, passport number, date of birth at least. The park and Cherny Most Mall. Okay. The park and Cherny Most Mall. Okay, yeah, the mall is big, and the parks, yeah, there are also nice parks, and there is the sledge bob, I think it's called, whatever, where you can like down the hill. I don't know how it's called. Ervan, ahoy, Prague 6, good for student. Generally, yes, because there are plenty of schools there, so there are also student apartments. Depends on part of Prague 6, because generally I would say it's also quite expensive area or above average. So it depends on what deal you can get. There are definitely flats that are suitable for students and many students live there, but it depends kind of on the part of Prague 6 where you want to live. Okay, guys, thank you very much for joining, and I'll see you again Thursday, Monday, until the end of the world. Good night.